Welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. Whether you're watching us live at sktrading.live or listening on your favorite podcast platform, we've got you covered. Subscribe, join the community, and get ready to dive into real talk and real market insights. Let's get started.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephen Kalayjian and welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. Wow, the Bulls were running and there was a stampede. The S&P futures up 2.5%, NASDAQ up 2.6%, S&P futures up 133, NASDAQ up over 400, Dow is up over 1,000 points. Now, again, yesterday's news in the market was all basically because Trump was looking to potentially fire Jerome Powell, and China talked tough on tariffs again. And then today, the market just completely just reversed, thinking that, Japan's close, India's close on the tariffs. And President, the Secretary of Treasury, came out with some somewhat dovish comments about China. But again, the markets we're in no man's land here. If you look at the daily charts, we're in no man's land. We're trading between 5,100, well, the low is 58, 48.32, 48.87, something like that. But, let's just say we're in a range between 5,100 and 5,500 for now. And that's exactly, it's a lot of trading, a lot of volatility, phenomenal patterns today. Gold got absolutely caboose. You know that gold last night traded 35.10 and then traded this right near the end of the day here below 33.80. All right. Gold is way overextended. I'm still looking for a pullback between another 80 to 150 points before it makes another bottom here. Again, I don't think you're going to penetrate the 3,000 level, but any pullback between 30, maybe 3,100 and 3,000 and 3,100. We still have another 290 points to go just to hit 3,100. So that's a big move. I don't know if we're going to get all that, but that's what I like to see because we're so overextended on gold. Tesla's earnings are out after the bell here. Tesla's up, it looks like another about $4 or $5 today. Wild day in Netflix. Beautiful patterns I'm going to show you. Today at 9:45, the big patterns were the 15-minute time frames reversing to buy at 9:45 on Coinbase, MSTR, Spiders, Diamonds, Qs, Russell. And then at 10 o'clock, the 30-minute time frames reversed to buy, and that was it. And then what happened? Boom! Right around the 1:30 time period, the 60-minute time frames reversed to buy. S&P futures were trading around the 53.36 level and then dropped all the way down to 52.63. A monster drop. Guess what? We were there to buy them based upon the fact that the news came out that maybe the deal with China is going to take longer than expected and it could be drawn out for several months. And that kind of spooked the market. And guess what? We were there and I said the 30-minute time frames are setting up for a long. And did they ever? The low on the S&P is 52.63, and they rallied all the way up to 53.19. It was a crazy day. I love it. People did so well. People are blowing up my phones, showing me where their P&Ls are at the end of the day. A young man passes a evaluation on a funded prop account, so really happy. But let me go and show you exactly what happened today. I'm telling you. And then the pattern on gold today on the sell reversals on the 15 to 30 minute time frames, the push up on gold around 1 o'clock, 1:30. Gold was trading around the 34.15, 34.18. I'll look, and all of a sudden, boom, off that 15-minute time frame, that strategy, the first bounce on the 15 after the 30 and the 15-minute time frame correlated. Gold dropped over 30 points. This was a monster day. It was Christmas in April. It was an unbelievable day here. Great buy and sell divergences. I'm going to show you divergence patterns today when the MACDs were above the pivot on the 5-minute time frames, the two non-confirmations. I think they were 11:30 and 12:30. But let me just go and start showing here because I'm telling you, It's a lot to show you. So a lot of great patterns here today. First of all, you can see, I'll just start with gold. Gold was trading, and you can see that the 5-minute time frame reversed to sell here at the end of the day. And this is the 5-minute time frame. It correlated with the GLDs on the 5, 15, and 30. And look at this beautiful short. First bounce on the 5-minute time frame. We were about 97 to 99.5 on the short. And look here. I said, look, I would be looking to short this gold on the first bounce. And look what gold did. All the way down, just in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars. You can see gold dropped over $19 on that pattern. This is the pattern I wanted to show you on gold on the GLDs. The GLDs reverse to sell on the 30-minute time frame. Again, when you use the underlying ETFs, it's important. Okay, and here's the bounce. You see the negative MACDs above the pivot. The algo reversed to sell on the 30. It correlated with the 15. Later on in the day, the 60-minute reversed to sell at 3 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock. And then here's the bounce on gold right here at 145. And if you look at gold at that time period, you can see that the gold futures were trading at that time period. I think they were at 22, 21.5, 22. And you can see the drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars, anywhere from 7 to 8 bars. Gold went from 22 all the way down. So gold dropped 38 points, okay, $38 in a matter of 8 bars there on the 15-minute time frame. All right, let's go to the spiders. Big patterns here today. All right. Here's the 15-minute time frame reversing to buy, ding, 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 at 9:45. And then at 10 o'clock, you can see the buy reversal here, the yellow dots into the blue. This was the Picasso of Picassos. I'll show you here. This is the first pullback right here. I said you're going to get a pullback on the 15-minute time frame. All right, looks like Tesla's unchanged here now from the close. I said this is the first pullback right here. The positive MACDs on the 15, the 5 and the 15, the 15 and the 30, and you can see it got a little bit deeply over, not somewhat, but you had the big buying pressure rising ADX, and this push up here was the pullback, if I'm not mistaken, on the 5-minute time frame, and it rallied right back up. And I'll show it to you. What time was that? That was, I think, the 11:45. I'll show you. I want to show you these patterns here. All right. This is the first pullback. So this is technically the first pullback on the 5-minute time frame right here. All right. And that pattern right here also set up. You can see here that pattern. This is the first pullback on the 5-minute time frame. Now, we got lucky on this pattern because not only was it a great pattern, all right, and if I bring up the 15 here, you can see this is the first pullback on the 5-minute time frame right here. You can see the 15-minute time frame did nowhere near get oversold. But this is technically, the strategy is, this is the first pullback on the 5-minute time frame after the 30-minute time frame correlated with the 15. Now, the S&P futures were trading like 83 or something like that, 84. And I'm telling you, within literally, I'm not even kidding you, within, I think, 10 minutes, there was news about maybe a deal with China. Absolutely rallied. The market rallied. And I'm telling you, look what the spiders did here. The spiders pushed up right here from the 523.76. And look what they rallied. They rallied almost 50 some odd handles on the S&P. All right. Now, I wanted to show you prior to that, we were calling shorts here. All right. I was calling shorts on the market for the pullback. We were extremely overbought on the 5, on the 15, and the 30-minute time frame. But you see this pattern right here? You're making new highs right here, and the MACDs did not confirm. So I said, okay, we're going to take shorts on this. This was about 11:30, and you can see the drop of about 20 points on the S&P. Now, this again was this is a PICASSO. This was the first pullback on the 5-minute time frame after the 15-minute time frame and the 30-minute correlated with each other. And then up here, when we made the new high, I called another short. Why did I call that short? Because you're making new highs here, and the MACDs did not confirm. You can see, if you can see the MACDs here on the 5-minute time frame, the MACD did not confirm right there. All right. Then we got the news, and all of a sudden, the all holy hell broke loose. And I said that you're going to be waiting for a pullback on the 15-minute time frame, and it's going to get to a deep oversold condition. Now, I said that would happen between 12 and 2. And exactly at 2 o'clock, that 15-minute time frame got deeply oversold. Even though the algorithm reversed to sell, you had the buy disconnect on the 30 and the 60-minute time frame. But when you got that deep oversold condition on the 15-minute time frame, S&P futures were trading 52.63. The 30-minute time frame got deeply oversold into the positive MACD on both the 30 and the 60-minute time frame. I took a picture. I sent it to a hedge fund. They said, I buy everything, right? The S&P futures went from 52.63. They hovered around for about 8 minutes, and then boom, up to 80, boom, up to 90, boom, up to even, boom, up to 10, up to 19. This was an absolute PICASSO. Everything set up. Apple ran $2. You just had to throw a dart. Okay? NVIDIA ran. Apple ran 2. Meta ran on that pattern. Meta ran about 7. All right? These patterns, I mean, they're anything in the S&P. The diamonds rallied roughly 300 points. The Dow. The Russell on that pattern rallied about $2. So everything pretty much just throw a dart, okay? Because if you look here, you can see the 30-minute time frame right here was getting oversold into the positive MACD. You can see how the 30-minute got oversold right into the 10 bar, and this was an absolute PICASSO. Absolute PICASSO. All right. If you look at the Qs, I mean, throw a dart. I was buying Qs on the 441 right here. Look at the low, 449, 440.29. You can see the over $4.50 rise. The diamonds, look at this right here, right into the 10 bar, 387. Boom, rallied almost 400 on the Dow. Coinbase, everything lined up. COIN. Again, beautiful patterns on Coinbase. Today, the 30-minute time frame reversed to buy. It correlated with the 15. Look at the pullback here. This is the first pullback on Coinbase on the 15. This is when I told you around the 11:30, 11:20, 11:20, 11:40 time period. Look at Coinbase. This is the first pullback. Look at the rising ADX on the 15 and the 5, on the 15 and the 30 and the 60. Just buy here in Coinbase below 88. Look what it did. Boom. $4. Second pullback on Coinbase right here. Beautiful pattern. Oversold into the rising ADX. Now, when the MACDs turn negative like this is the short that I called around 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Overbought into the negative MACD, right? You can see here, this is a sell divergence in a positive trend. So when you got the overbought condition right here, you can see this is the short right here. Now let's go to Coinbase on the 5-minute time frame. Every pullback after the opening on Coinbase is an absolute PICASSO. Here's the pullback on the 3. Here's the first pullback on the 5-minute. Here's the second pullback on the 5. Again, the ADXs are rising. Here's another pullback. Okay. Now, when the Coinbase made the new high here, I was calling shorts here above 92. You see this here? Coinbase making new highs, non-confirmation. Again, another short. Here's the other short. Everything lined up at the same time. When you see these MACDs start going negative, you could take the short, okay, and look for the pullback. So Coinbase 191.25 drops to about 4. Here's Coinbase again, 192 and change. Boom, drops to about 2. All right, and you can see the negative MACDs. Here is a 15-minute time frame when it pulled in. right below 89, 89 and a half. You can see here Coinbase rallied about $4 here. All right, from 87, say 89, rallied about 3. And then at the end of the day, here's the new high again, 93. Coinbase could not confirm the highs. What I'm showing you here, and then here's another pullback on Coinbase at the end of the day with 20 minutes to go, 87, 88, and rallied 2. So you can see how many great patterns there were in Coinbase during the day off the 5 and the 15-minute time frames. Again, you could be in a positive trend like we were, but there's still sell divergences on the 5-minute time frames that had really great shorts, great longs and great shorts, even in a positive trend. All right. At 3 o'clock, I called a great short on the market. Look at this pattern. After we got the big oversold condition, the S&Ps ran from the 52.63 all the way up to 53.19. Look at the overbought condition into the negative MACD. But this is what really triggered it. Watch this. Look at the SQQQs. The SQQQs are negative on the 30 and the 60. This is a buy reversal pattern. So you were oversold into the positive MACD. You can see the SDS is the same identical pattern, oversold into the positive MACD. So I said this pattern on the spiders right here is going to fail. This pattern overbought into the negative MACD. And I'll tell you, again, if I say this, I'm not trying to be funny. Throw a dart. The Russell dropped $1.50. Apple dropped more than 2. Microsoft dropped over 2. Meta went from almost about $4.99 and a half, dropped all the way down to like 95 and a half. Nvidia dropped, from what I see here, more than $1. Avago dropped over 2. Palantir was trading 94.40, got all the way down to like 93 and change. So these patterns are phenomenal. So you had the pattern this morning, okay, on the pullback. You had the 2 great short patterns on the new highs, phenomenal patterns. You had patterns on the 5-minute pullback, the first pullback after everything correlated. Then you had the shorts, okay, on the non-confirmations. You can see here on the Qs, I was shorting the Qs here. You can see the Qs making new highs right here. Again, making new highs, non-confirmation. So 1230 was the short. First short here. This is the pullback on the 3-minute, right? This is the short again. Again, waiting for the pullback on the 5. The Q's 444.40 dropped over 2. Caught this beautiful long on the NASDAQ and the Qs, the spiders, forward dart. And then we had some great news from a headline about China. S&Ps ran 50. The NASDAQ ran, if I'm not mistaken, the Qs ran from here to here. That's over 400 points on the NASDAQ right there. And then you called the short here. Again, the non-confirmation. The MACD's non-confirming the high. Then the pullback here. I mean, look at these patterns. The pullback here again. And then at the end of the day, the short into the negative MACD. Man, oh man. I'll tell you, today there was one PICASSO after another. One PICASSO after another. All right. Last stock I'm going to show you is Netflix. All right. I'm going to show you Netflix here. All right. So Netflix gapped up here, right? And you can see Netflix exploded. Boom. All right. Right around this time period, Netflix was trading below 445. And I said to my live people in my community, I'd be looking to buy Netflix between 1,040 and a half to 1,045 and a half. The low was a 44 and a half. Oversold. First pullback on the 5-minute. Look at the oversold condition here on Netflix on the 5-minute. Look what it did. It ran all the way up to 64. Netflix in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars ran 20 points. Now, Netflix, once Netflix reversed to sell on the 15, I said I would look to short this Netflix. Look what Netflix did. From 62 all the way down to 49. Once these MACDs reversed, I knew it was over in Netflix. Then Netflix set up the long on the 15 right here. again, oversold into the positive MACD. Netflix ran 44 all the way up to 56. Beautiful. $12 in Netflix. But now reverse to sell on the 15-minute time frame. All right. So Netflix now, once I see that, I pretty much know that the highs are in for the day. All right. Now, Netflix, okay, you can see here, pushes up, then drops, waits for the pullback on the 15 again. But I know that this pullback, okay, is not going to make a new high. But still, caught the long in Netflix right here. Okay, it pushes up from the 39.5 up to 49, right? Rallies about 10. I was buying this below 43, right? But then look at this pattern. Again, the same pattern at 3 o'clock. This is why I tell you, everything lined up at the certain time periods. Okay, 2 o'clock for the long, 3 o'clock for the short, right? Look at this pattern. Netflix pushes up, okay, at 2 o'clock, at 3 o'clock, all the way up to the, it was right here, the 47 time period, right here, okay? 47, all right? Look what Netflix did. Overbought into the negative MACD. Now, remember, when the algorithm reversed, I told you that 85% of the time, when you go from a bullish trend to a sell reversal, buy disconnect, 2 out of 3 bullish, guess what happened? Boom. Okay? Guess what happened? Right? Netflix failed. The highs are in for the day when the 15 reversed, and Netflix goes all the way down to drop 17 points. Okay. Now, I bought this Netflix here between 30, 35. All right. And then because of the 15-minute time frame getting deeply oversold, and then you can see the push up. So there were so many great patterns today here. Between gold setting up at 1 o'clock when everything reversed. Gold setting up again on the 320 pattern on the 5-minute time frame that took it from 98 all the way down to 79. When you look at the patterns today on the 5-minute time frame at 11:50, and then you call the shorts before the pullback on the 5, then the push up at 12:30, then the big drop, and we caught the long on the 2 o'clock pattern, and then the short at 3 o'clock. These were phenomenal patterns. Even caught a long around the 330, 335 on the S&P. S&Ps were trading 87.5, 88.5 range within our range, and you blinked on one bar. They ran over 22 points and ultimately pushed up about another 5. They get up to 16, 20. So they ran almost 37 points. All right, 33 points on the S&P in a matter of 4 bars. So in 25 minutes. So today was a great day. A lot of volatility. Volume wasn't really there, but guess what? Who cares? The bottom line is everybody in my community did very well. I'm happy. I'm very excited to be here. This gives me great joy. And when I get back, I will tell you what I expect for tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow we have a 9:45 PMI. 10 o'clock, we have new home sales number, no 8:30 number. A bunch of Fed presidents are going to talk. And then on Wednesday and then Thursday, we have initial jobless claims, durable goods, and existing home sales. Durable goods at 8:30 and existing home sales at 10. So tomorrow, PMI number at 9:45, new home sales at 10. So no 8:30 number, but like I said, a bunch of Fed governors speaking. So tomorrow, what I'm expecting is, looks like the 60-minute time. I'm expecting them to rally here again tomorrow if these 60-minute time frames continue to go up. Now, looking at the bigger time frame, the daily doesn't look that great. The weekly looks like horrible death. Remember, I told you, the big number is on the monthly chart, and that number is 535 on the spiders. That's 80 points from here on the S&P. If we close below 535, and I'm telling you the market knows that number, okay? I will tell you that the monthly on the close of business at 4 o'clock on April 30th, next week, is it next week? It's a week, next week, right? You'll get a sell signal on the monthly for the first time since June, I believe, of 2023. Okay. Now the market's not going to like that. Okay. The monthly doesn't go negative and then positive the next month. It doesn't do it. I wrote the program. It just doesn't do it. Just like I told you, the weekly doesn't flip negative on March 14th, and then the week of the 21st of March, you reverse the buy. Okay. So again, with that being said, I'm expecting a push up tomorrow. If we do get this push up tomorrow, depends on what Tesla's doing here. Okay. Also, I'm expecting any overbought conditions tomorrow on the 30 and 60-minute time frames. I would fade the market because of the weekly based upon the overbought conditions. If we do get some type of a push down tomorrow, and we're still holding up on the 60-minute time frames, I'll probably be looking for buys on the 30 and 60-minute time frame. So again, we're in this range bound, 5,100 to 5,400, 5,100 to 5,500. I don't really see us doing anything. I think it's a lot of dead money until, the tariffs, the tax cuts, and anything else that comes out could interest rate cuts, anything that could fuel the market in one way or another. All right. So that's what I'm expecting tomorrow. All right. When I get back, I'd like to tell you something hit me today, and I want to be clear and I want to express myself to each and every one of you because it means a lot that I explain this to you. Okay. All right. So today someone joined my live stream and, listen, the markets are moving and this is dynamic learning. And he said, no, nice, very respectful, said, I don't get this. This is really over the top. This is very, you're not, if you went to college and if you got to a point where you were able to afford to go to college, did you learn all 4 years in college in one day? Today is the first day. This is a learning curve. Everything I teach is based upon 5 conditions, 10 strategies, all buy and sell divergences. I show you how these patterns repeat themselves each and every day. Today, right, at 2 o'clock, the whole world was to buy based upon my work. I mean, throw a dart, Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Meta, Avago, Spiders, Qs, Diamonds, Russell. I mean, right? And then at 3 o'clock, the same names, all shorts, everything got kabooshed, right? So MSTR, everything got kabooshed, right? So the point in the matter is this, right? You're not going to get this in day one. Everything I do is based upon dynamic learning, and everything I do is based upon visualization and repetition. This takes time, and I'm telling you, if you give it the time and learn, ask questions, yes, you could be new, and I'm going to speak to the person tonight, but when you master this, as most people have, okay, it just takes time, right? I really firmly believe in every fiber of my body, every bone in my body that you will get this, okay? And when this does, I really believe this will change your life, all right? So I wanted to say this to you. As my father once said to me, Stephen, Rome wasn't built in a day. Hell no. But you'll get this because I teach, I learn. I don't even take lunch. I'm here all day long. All right. Ask questions, be proactive, learn, all right. And that's the most important thing. Learn from me, ask questions, identify what I'm teaching, and I'm calling out the divergences, the buy patterns. As I said, I'd be looking to buy, and I'm explaining why this is happening. Today at 2 o'clock, I'm jumping up and down like a baboon saying the 30 minutes. I even took a screenshot, sent it to a big hedge fund. I said, I buy everything. Look at this 30-minute time frame, and boom. They ran 56 handles on the S&P. The NASDAQ ran over 200 on that pattern. Let me see. About 200, a little more than 200 on that. Okay. So with that being said, please, one of my 5 keywords is patience. So please be patient. And that is my message for tonight. So you will get this if you put your mind to it and ask questions and study and learn from me each and every day. Dynamic learning is the way that I believe you will really, truly get this. All right. Thank you for joining me tonight on The Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment. I try to answer the comments at night when I'm here. Please join my community of traders at sktrading.live. Also, follow me on social media at official Stephen Kalayjian on X, Instagram, and on Twitter, on X. again, the most important thing is I do not DM anybody. So please don't be fooled. People have been scamming me for the last month and using my face and DMing people. So please, I'm begging you. Here's my cell phone number, 914-500-7484. That is my personal number. If you want to reach me, just text me. Do not expect a DM from me. If you do, it's not me. So please, I'm giving you a warning. All right. Everybody have a great night. Again, thank you for joining me. Please join my community of traders at sktrading.live. Please visit my website. And thank you for allowing me in your home tonight. Hope you learned from me. Again, I love what I do. I can't wait for tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody. And God bless the United States of America. Be well.
Thanks for tuning in to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe at sktrading.live or on your favorite podcast platform. We'd love for you to rate, review, and join our community for more real talk and market insights. Until next time, keep trading and stay sharp.